According to YouTube, I do not have enough subscribers to sustain myself. So please like and subscribe. And if you want a coaching session, click the top link in the bio. Otherwise, sit back and take some notes and enjoy the video.
So yeah, this was a long game. I don't know if I played well or not. So like, I can never tell if it's like a waste to look over.
No, it's not ever a waste. It's like, the thing you should look at is like, why did I lose? Like, do I understand why I lost? If I understand why I lost objectively, then we can go from there.
So I feel like, and then now I started plateauing again. Like my win rate dropped like crazy. So I'm like, am I doing something else wrong now?
How often do you VOD review?
I don't really know. What happened, sorry?
How often do you VOD review?
Like every day.
Every day?
Probably more than I play. That might actually be an issue.
Do you have notes?
No, I don't.
Okay, one, always take notes in your VOD review. In my opinion, the notes are more important than the actual VOD review itself. Because if you ever have a coach, you can show the coach the notes, and then he will be able to objectively see what you're looking at when you're VOD reviewing. So like, let's say you're VOD reviewing your own game, and you like, yep, I have all these notes. And then all of a sudden, I see you like comparing like, oh, this fight was good, this fight was bad. And like for no reason, right? You're just like saying, oh, don't peek this angle, don't peek that, or whatever the fuck you look at, right?
Yeah.
That can be like really problematic.
Okay.
So it's just something along
There's
those
one at
lines of
5,
like understanding how to VOD review. Like if you have like anybody that can look at it, like write down notes. It'll just always be helpful, and it sticks into your brain more.
I usually do.
Like because it's like a gamble game, right? Because like even if you find out that they have ults, like they're gonna break this camp like immediately. Like this camp. I mean maybe you pop preemptive pop.
It's just because I double trip mid, so I don't have mid info. Otherwise, I'd do something different. So I just want to see mid with the cam as well.
Okay, but like this is what I mean by you're too heavy of a setup guy. Look at your team.
Yeah.
Right? Your teammate's literally actively picking up mid. He's playing mid, right? So it's like, okay, well, you're
But if they rotate off, no?
Okay.
Sorry, I have ADHD. I'm just interrupting. I know.
No. I understand what you're saying, but you're playing for too many variables. You're playing too structured. This is a really big problem, at least used to be, in like the GC scene too. You're playing for every possible variable and you're trying to play perfect, and by playing perfect, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Like, I don't think your setup's bad. Your reasoning's all fine, but it's not based on what's going on the enemy team. Your thought process is bad, right? You're like,
so how do I recognize what's happening while I'm also trying to set up
by pay attention? So like, look at round 1, round 2. They rushed A, they rushed A. Okay.
Yeah.
They rushed A, they had one work both times. It was breach here and it was breach here. So recognize the patterns, right? Okay. So now let's go into this round, right? Let's look at the start of the round. Okay. We have no info here. One stop mid, right? They're putting a lot of pressure towards A, it appears, and then they're running out A, right? So once again, this is another A rush, right? That's how you need to start thinking about the game, right? Okay, they're doing X, so I'm gonna do Y, rather than, okay, they have X, Y, Z. Optimally, they might killjoy ult B here. Okay, then I'm gonna play for it, right? Maybe you set up a kill trip for a killjoy ult B or something, like one of them, and maybe you pocket the other trip. Maybe you put it mid. Maybe you early cam, right? And then you just play for the one kill, and you just call it a day, right? That's like, that way your team has an advantage going into the retake situation, right? Though that sort of stuff, although not like mathematically correct in team play, or not perfectly correct in a sense, will give you more advantages in a ranked sense. Does that make sense?
That does, yes.
Okay. A lot of people have this problem that play Sentinels, by the way.
I try to play so perfect.
They figure out what map control is, and they figure out what they think a top tier level player would do, and they do it rather than just basing their decisions off of what the enemy on the other team's doing. Yeah,
I think you'll see that a lot.
Because you think, oh, this is a correct play, perfect, let's do this, right? But it's like, but the enemy's not doing the correct play anyway, you know? This is something that I think a lot of Cypher players struggle with. Because you're so addicted to wanting to play your one way, you tell your teammate not to smoke. Like, you literally said, don't smoke unless I ask for it, and then you didn't ask for a fucking smoke.
I know, yeah. That is something
like, so that's a communication thing, right? Smokes, okay, chat sees this all the time, by the way, when I play, right? The amount of times,
I don't know when to ask for it.
Literally, if my Cypher fucking says don't smoke, unless I ask for it, I still smoke. I don't even give a shit. The reason why is because this smoke is so valuable. It creates so much pressure, right? Because when they try to run out, they're flooding out and they're opening themselves up to so many angles all at the same time, comparative to the like vice versa, right? So asking for smokes is really good. So basically, if you think that they're gonna hit, just say, hey, can I smoke? Like, can you smoke?
And what about like if there's like left side B main cross and we need to re-clear it? I know, again, this is me just asking, like,
you mean like if you think that somebody's like here and like, wait, what do you mean?
If they cross, yeah, like there, and like if we need to re-clear it later because I can't see it now, right?
Well, what if there's an op posted on the angle and you die?
It's true.
What if there's somebody you like post on it? What if there's somebody playing peek off me contact and then you guys don't smoke it and then you die?
Fair.
It eliminates an angle. right?
Yeah.
And you just have one person. So this is like a scaling thing, but you basically just have one person sit back and just like watch the smoke if you feel it. If you feel like somebody's B main, then you just like let your teammates scale up. You watch the smoke for a second. Once you count everybody on site, then you scale forward. If not, then you just hold the smoke. This guy will run out of the smoke dry and he'll fucking die for free.
Okay.
All right.
I'll say I'm getting spammed through smoke, madam.
Unlucky. Wait for your teammate to get here before you even go out. It's like, throw this down. That's fine.
Just don't even
You just
keep the
literally
smoke.
AFK. Yeah, don't you like? Yeah, it's unlucky you get spammed here. Yeah, you could have crossed. Yeah, you could have waited, but it's still optimally better, right? Wait for your
I didn't
brimstone
have to,
because
yeah.
like your brimstone is never in a position that they can capitalize, right? So it's like this is what I mean by basic principles, right? 3v2. Like you're trying to get a timing to cross over, whatever. 3v2. You have ult. You have to figure out where both of them are. Just group up, go in together, play trades, right? That's literally it. That's all you have to do here. But because you try to catch some like invisible timing because you think this is like probably the best play, which I'm not saying this is a terrible play. Like you trying to cross here and getting spammed is a little unlucky. But in reality, right? If you just wait for your brimstone and then you cross
25
together,
Sova.
then you just win. Like so here, like. This is a prime example of you playing because of a setup that you think is just like correct. And this is like a setup. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why you're playing this setup when you've come to the realization that these guys are just like running it down and like you're just starting backside like B. It just doesn't feel good. And like
Because
you
I
could-
haven't come to that realization. Like
yeah.
I should have, but like I haven't. Yeah.
you can transition. Like you could literally throw cam here, have kill trip set up or something. Like you throw cam here, early start, maybe start lane. Right, but you're starting back boat. You're literally giving them this entire space for just free. Like that's all you're doing,
Yeah.
right? If they do they have a Sova? For the love of God, they have a Sova. You're fucked. Yeah, if they have a Sova. The Sova drones out, figures out where your one trip is. He fucking shocks it. You lose. You literally just lose. And now you're backside B, and you gave them the entirety of the space, right? You need to play more
Yeah.
reactive.
It's a smart thing to
Reactivity
do.
is really important to understand as a Sentinel, and that's like if you watch Baby J, right? A lot of times he will just walk down the fucking map. Right? You watch a lot of Sentinel players, they'll just walk down the map and all of a sudden they'll just randomly be here, right? like they'll just randomly be here on defense. You're like, wait, how the fuck did that person get there? And then they kill three,
It's really
right?
fun.
It's because
I know
they're
when I play Breach,
it's because they're
have a
paying
lot of fun
attention to
playing.
like what's going on, right?
You know, that's
And they're
what's
playing how they should. Like you have good setups. Like I'm not saying your setups are bad. Like this fundamentally
how
is
do
a
I
really good
know-
setup. How do
So
you
yeah, to be clear, how do I know not to do this one this round? Because the way they rush B, in my mind, it's like, all right, they went B there.
if you feel like
I
they're
want to
rushing
do a
B,
different
why,
setup for B.
if you feel like they're rushing B, why'd you put a trip mid?
Because I always want that mid info. I know I don't have like, I guess I don't have to technically, but like I just.
But you're going.
Always
I mean,
want
you're
it.
going off the. I mean, you're playing backside B, right? So you're going off a hard
Yeah.
read that they're going B. No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I guess. Explain that.
Well, like, yeah, like I think so.
Like, yeah, you're going off like.
Like I'm agreeing.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, you're going off a hard read that they're going B. Then you don't need this info because you're going off a gamble. You starting back here is a gamble.
But can someone not like? Someone needs to.
Why
pick
would
up
you?
mid,
Why
right?
would you? Why would you not start here? Right. Well, what's the? Why would you not
yeah.
start lane? Why would you not start somewhere that's in a more aggressive position? Like, why would you want to give them lane, boat? Like when you break the map down, right?
Yes.
You break the map down into, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to do it, right? There's a whole lane theory, right? Where it's like, this is really simple. This is the most fundamental way to break it down. And right now, what you're trying to do is control lanes, right? You're trying to control as many lanes as possible in order to give your team some sort of like advantage, if that makes sense, right? So you're trying to control this mid lane and then you're trying to play B site, which controls the B lane essentially. That's what you're trying to do, right? Where in reality, what I'm trying to do is take away neutral space from these people. That's my objective, right? So when you break down the map in this way, right, where you look, okay, there's three different types of space. There's neutral space, there's attacker space, there's defender space, right? Neutral space is the area that's not given inherently to either team, right? So this is a neutral space here, right? And I'm trying to take away this from them because then it gives me a more like spatial advantage. And then you can also break it down into compartments, right? So compartments are the idea that you break it down into little chunks of like, okay, well, lane is a portion of control that I can fight for, and then I can fall back, and then there's B site that's a portion of control, and there's boathouse, which is a portion of control. The enemy has to take away each one of these little chunks from us, if that makes sense, right? But I don't want to focus on like this breakdown part yet. I mean, it's important, right? Because you're starting backside B, which means you're giving them multiple chunks, but like we're still giving them neutral space, right? We're not even like focusing on this part yet. We're not even getting active information on them if they're coming B. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Read this, now just fucking run.
I think
Or,
I
like-
might. I hope I do.
Have gone out?
Please tell me I don't go back through mid.
Not out yet.
No, don't run spawn. Actually, it's better to go through mid.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
This rotation time is 24 seconds.
Okay.
This rotation time is 12. You can go up here. It's like what? Look at the lines, right? Like one's way shorter than the other, right?
That makes sense.
And like, what are the odds that's like maybe you catch somebody that's like right here because they didn't even have a trip here, right? So there's just more kill potential and more map control that you get. And if they like timing you and they go through mid, you're just kind of fucked. Shit, this cage doesn't even make sense. I mean, I get why you're doing it, so you can cross and it creates a threat from both sides. But I promise you, no fucking Ascendant player's thinking that. Like, I know what the purpose of the cage is.
I mean, they also can't push me too, but like that probably won't matter for the most part.
I mean,
like, some people just run out there.
I mean, if they fucking Omen Blind breached on this, you're getting pushed. Sorry.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter if you fucking put a
It
cage
did happen
trip.
once, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
I cage that every round, so yeah.
I mean, you don't need to though. Like, it's just kind of because like here's the thing. Okay, this is the same conversation that I argued with a fucking Mortal 1 player. They would haunt this every round without fail, no matter what. Well, I need the information. No, you don't. You don't need the information. You don't need this. You don't need XYZ. You don't do something every round. If you do something every round, you're fucking trolling. You want to know why? Because you immediately gave away your plan. You immediately gave away your position, and you told them that like, hey, we're probably not rushing. Like, there's no variability in your playstyle, and it makes the rest of your teammates also more readable. You're essentially hurting your entire team.
That makes
shit
sense,
like that. Bro, I've seen you do the same thing. Doesn't this shit get boring?
Because yeah, so is conditioning them bad? Like when we're doing this mid to B, like that's like I take late B main. That's my mindset. Like
Conditioning
they get the mid and then I work up.
Like, okay. Conditioning. The idea of conditioning is doing the same thing every round in order, or similar things. Okay, it's not the same thing every round. That's a bad idea of conditioning. Okay.
Like
the idea.
You talk about like Haven, like when they smoked the cross on Haven.
I mean that's not even conditioning. That's just creating a threat. This is not
That
conditioning.
different?
Yeah, this is creating a threat. You're creating an option for them to go short. Where B main, when you smoke this cage off, there is no other option. It's, oh, are they there after the cage expires? Yes, no. Or here, it's like it's cutting off a sight line. That's the difference, right? Let me show you a really good example of conditioning. This Viper orb is a really good example.
See, I play Killjoy on Viper, so I tell my Viper not to do that, but yeah.
This orb is really good at conditioning. It's like, if you just run through this like twice, they have to worry about it for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Right? That's what conditioning is. That's something that's important. That's something that's scary to deal with. Right? This isn't scary to deal with because all I have to do is fucking wait 5 seconds and then like your cage is gone and then I'm just like, oh, well, he's not there.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, if you never try to go through this cage, this is a bad cage. You're doing it every round, telling them your position, and you're just like throwing away.
That makes sense.
Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below because God, I'd suck someone's dick to get put in the algorithm. YouTube, if you're watching this, just let me know.